Okay, I'll share a little bit. I almost didn't come here. I really didn't think I could come here because a cyclone hit my country, and I was there with all the big boys, the UN and the World Food Program and the Red Cross and the Irish tribe and we were all there and I walked out. These words that I was speaking, I'll tell you one thing, God doesn't mock me. I'll tell you one thing, God doesn't mock me. God doesn't mock me. And He knows me. And He doesn't mock me. From war-torn to a cyclone affecting over 2 million people, is walking into a village after speaking to our pastors, getting them around, just looking them in the eyes. You know what they said? They said, "Mama, we've lost everything. We have no house, we have no pot, we have no pan. But all we have is gratitude. All we have is gratitude because we're alive so that we can help others to know the love of Jesus. We're alive to help others to know the love of Jesus." And I watched the most extraordinary men and extraordinary women. I watched in the midst of the most hellish situation that I have ever seen. And we've been through famine and flood and war and hatred and division and pain and suffering. I've never seen anything like this. And I've never seen such courage in little men and little women who had nothing in this world. Nothing in this world. And I watched them. And I had the great privilege of empowering them with the backup of people who see and people who feel and people who care and people who feel, because we have not been put on this planet to sleep. We've not been put on this planet to live like little wretched orphans that don't know they're loved. The whole point of the gospel is that Jesus made a way for us. And anyone, rich or poor, educated or illiterate, is called to come home to the home of loving believers. So, eternity is my eternal home. And if I didn't understand that, I wouldn't be able to face, with eyes wide open, millions of people who have no home. I won't face that alone, and I won't face that in fear, and God doesn't mock me. We are called as sons and daughters to bear fruit. Fruit that will last. Fruit that will last. We're called to love him with all of our hearts, with all of our soul, with all of our spirit, with all of our mind. Why is it? Why is it we say there's so much suffering in the world? Why is it there's so much suffering in the world? I don't have an answer for that. But I do know that if we would fall in love with the one who gave himself away, if we would totally, completely fall in love with him because the Father first loved us, then we would no longer be crippled, and we would no longer be voiceless, and we would no longer be deaf, and we would no longer be blind, and the church would rise to be the church, the body of Christ, and we would no longer say to the foot, I don't need you. Hey! We would no longer say to the eye, I don't need you. We would no longer say to the mouth, be silent. We would be a voice. We would be the hands. We would be the feet. We would be the heart. We would be the hope. We would be who God has called us to be in a broken, dying world gone mad. Will you? Will you? Will you be who he says you are?